Today I'm going to be making Alton Brown's famous turkey brine recipe just in time for your Thanksgiving. Now I can't take credit for any of this recipe. This is Alton Brown's. I've been using it for 10 years. I typically brine about 4 turkeys a year. And this works great every time. You want to make sure that your turkey is thawed. The brining process will help it thaw a little bit if it's not completely thawed. I bought mine 2 days ago. It was still a little bit frozen, so I just put it in the fridge for a couple days, and it was good to go. To start the recipe, you're going to take 1 gallon of vegetable broth, and you're going to bring it to a boil, or start it on a boil. You can mix all the ingredients in. You can mix all the ingredients in as it's boiling. I'm going to get it started here first. Go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients here. So we're going to add 1 cup of kosher salt. I would recommend kosher salt. You could use regular salt, I guess, but I recommend kosher salt. Give that a little stir, and then ½ cup of brown sugar. Alton's recipe calls for light brown sugar. I'm using dark. I don't think it really matters. You got 1½ teaspoons of allspice berries, whole. And then 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns. And then you want to put 1½ teaspoons of chopped candied ginger. Sometimes in the store it's called crystallized ginger. It's the same thing. So I'm going to give that a good stir. So we've got a simmer going on our brining mixture. In this pot we have 1 gallon of low sodium vegetable broth, 1 cup of kosher salt, ½ cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns, 1½ teaspoons of allspice berry, and 1½ teaspoons of candied ginger. Sometimes it's also called crystallized ginger, but it's the same thing. So we've got a nice simmer going here. I can tell that all the salt is dissolved in the sugar. It's got a great color. So we're going to turn off the cooker now that we've got everything dissolved. And you want this to cool completely down before you add your turkey to it. I have a trick here. The recipe calls for 1 gallon of heavily iced water, but I'm just going to use straight ice. So you may be asking yourself, how do I know how much is a gallon of ice? It's like, well, something I learned from Alton Brown is that 1 ounce of water weighs 1 ounce. So if you're looking for a gallon, that's 128 ounces. Divided by 16 is 8. So that's 8 pounds of ice. So damn near a whole bag of ice, shy of 2 pounds. So I have a bag here of ice. We're just going to dump it in. I'm probably not going to be able to get all of it in there, but whenever I put it into the bucket, I'll put the rest of it. Let me get pretty close. That's probably about 3 pounds there, so I'll put the rest of it on top. This isn't an exact deal. If you go a little over, a little under, it's not going to be the end of the world. The main thing is that you want to have this brining liquid completely cooled before you put your turkey in it. So I'm just going to stir this around and let this set for a few moments, and then we'll be ready to go. We're going to use our universal thermometer, and that is cold. There's still a little bit of ice floating in here, so it is ready to take the bird. So hopefully this table doesn't collapse. I've got a 5-gallon bucket here. This is a 15-pound turkey that's completely thawed. A 15-pound or under will fit inside of a 5-gallon bucket. If you're trying to do a larger turkey, you're going to need a bigger bucket, or you could even use a small cooler and line it with a food-grade bag. I'm going to put the turkey in first, and then we're going to put the liquid over the top of it. And a minimum you need to go is 8 hours. You can go as many as 12. I wouldn't go more than 12, but I go 12. All right, so you're going to put this head side first. You want to make sure that the whole thing is in there. You can see that we've got plenty of room in there for the brining liquid. I'm going to add the rest of the ice. As you can see, this covers basically the whole turkey. There's a little bit of it sticking out, but not much. I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more ice on the top just to kind of get the liquid to come up. So that is 8 pounds of ice. That equals 1 gallon of highly or heavily salted water. And what you want to do is just, you'll need a twist tie or a rubber band. I have a full size or a reach-in refrigerator that I can just take the bottom shelf out of in my garage, and I can just set the whole bucket in there. If you don't have that, you can take a cooler, stick the bucket into the cooler, and then put a couple bags of ice around it. And then when it's at this point, you can put another bag on top of it, stick it in the garage. You'll be good for 8 to 12 hours, no problem. After the brining process is complete, you're going to want to take the bird out, dry it off real good. Like I said, I'm doing my turkey several days in advance. Dry it off real good, put it in a food grade turkey bag or one of these brining bags. When you buy your turkey, they'll typically give you like a big plastic bag to put it in. Save that bag, put the turkey back in there, stick it in the fridge, and you're ready to go on Thanksgiving morning. But the morning of, you want to take your bird out of the fridge, out of the bag, put it in the roasting pan, and then just leave it out on the counter for at least an hour. Even if you went an hour and a half, 2 hours, it's fine. The closer it comes to room temperature, the faster it's going to cook.